January 3rd, 2014. The object has reappeared again. This time it's flickering. You can see it. And I'm using my roof so that you can mathematically compare my roof to the object itself. And there's actually tonight two objects in the sky. There's actually this one that I'm filming to the right, and there was an object to the left, which may be gone out of sight, that was blinking. If you notice tonight, the object is only giving off purple, blue, aqua. It's not giving off reds or oranges or gold or white, but there is two objects in the sky, and I'm trying to film them both, but it's very hard, and people are telling me, you need to get a tripod, a night vision cam. It wouldn't do any difference. If we were to get this on a night vision cam, it would still show a glowing object in the sky. It would not show the details that are lined up in the object, or what the object's made of, or what shape it is. It's spherical, obviously, and it gives off and pulsates a strobe-like light. Tonight, the object's much lower in the sky. It's probably only about 1,000 feet above where I'm standing. New Year's Eve, it was giving off a lot of red and orange and blue, and sometimes two colors at the same time. Tonight, it's all about giving off blue. And that's me moving the camera. I know it's kind of hard to watch with the camera moving all around, but the thing is, I'm not prepared for when these sightings occur. I just quickly grab the cam and I start to film what it is that I see. And what I'm seeing tonight is a very bluish to purplish UFO hovering over an area of the Sierra foothills, which is an area with hills that range from 100 to 300 feet. And eventually they blend right into the mountains, which go up to 12,000 feet, which is known as the Sierras. No, it's not a ghost. I had someone tell me that. It's a ghostly orb a few hundred feet away. I've had somebody tell me it's an RC car, that I'm flying in the sky. What makes this video authentic is that I'm the one holding the cam. I'm the one that's sitting here. I don't have it on a tripod. I'm not dangling something in front of the lens. So, of course, the video's shaky, and that's what makes it authentic, is that it's real UFO footage. And this object has appeared to come back, and it always seems to come around 7:30 to 8:30 at night over the hills. It'll stay for a while. It'll flash its colors, do its thing, and then it'll fly off to orbit. And I've seen it fly off. And you can see my roof, and, we use the roof so that mathematicians and engineers can actually compare the height of the object, the distance of the object, how large the object is. And if you're not experienced in engineering and mathematics and ufology, you're probably not going to get what I'm filming here. But if you are experienced in ufology, then you know that this object that I am filming does not belong in our skies. And it's very easy to say that it could be a star. The problem is that every time I film it, it gives off different brilliant colors. This time, it's pulsating. No, it's not moving. That is me moving. But tonight, it's all about blues and purples. There's no yellows or golds or whites or reds. It's the colors it wants to illuminate. What's really strange also about the object is that repeatedly my camera keeps shutting off and I have to turn it back on. It's like something's forcing it to shut off. Normally I can film for a half hour without the camera shutting off, but not tonight. Nobody knows what it is. It could be government and experimental. Area 51's about 5 hours south of here. It could be alien in origin. It's obvious the object's higher up in the sky, but it's much lower. If you notice, it's much lower than the previous times I filmed it, besides the time it landed on the hill. And a lot of locals are reporting this object. And people are pretty scared. They're scared. They don't know what it is. Because this object has been seen landing on a lot of the local hills and mountains in Reno, Fallon, Fernley, Yerington, Carson City, Minden, Gardnerville. It's been seen all over. So my film only justifies these sightings in the area. But tonight, the object is only giving off blues, purples, and aqua, as opposed to other nights it gave off 30 different colors. Why it's decided to change its colors tonight, who knows? Like I said, I think the object's trying to disguise itself. I think that it doesn't want people knowing that it's a UFO, doing some research or work or spying or experiments in the area, and it's trying to look like a star or a planet in the sky. And you can hear, listen, dogs. This object upsets dogs. And, I'm holding the camera pretty steady, so you can see it's a hovering object. It's not really moving right or left or anything. It's just kind of hovering there. And then I take my zoom, and this is an HD cam. So for all those people who keep telling me you need to get an HD cam, well, you're looking at one. I got a killer zoom on this camera. It's an amazing object. And these UFO sightings persist. The government doesn't want to investigate them. They want to dismiss it as Comet ISN or a falling satellite or Venus. And it's not. It's not Venus. It's not a star. It's not a planet. It's an object that does not belong in our skies. Whether it's experimental craft, whether it's, it comes from outer space, I don't know. All I do is I film what I see, and then I put it on YouTube and let people decide for themselves. No, I'm not going to buy extra sound equipment and tripods and this and that. The moment you start filming the perfect UFO is the moment that it starts to look more and more fake. If you naturally film a UFO at night like I'm doing, zooming in and out, that's what makes it much more real. Obviously, it's a couple miles away. I don't have no remote control in my hand controlling something pulsating colors. And I think people online they're dumbfounded. And they just don't realize it. This planet's visited by many alien races, many different types of UFOs, and it has for thousands of years. The only difference is we as a human species are more aware of these type of objects in our sky, and that they exist, and more people are filming them. And, of course, there are hoaxes and everything out there, but, I got 4 or 5 videos of this thing within a 4-week time span. And it's not out every night. It was not out last night. It was not out the night before. We looked around the same time. But tonight, my son comes out here, and he looks out the window, and he says, "Dad, there's a purplish object pulsating in the sky." He goes, "You need to grab the cam. You need to get out there and film it." And that's exactly what I'm doing. I wish I could say it's a star. I wish I could say it's a planet. I wish I could find an explanation for it, but I can't. Look at the blue. That blue and the white in the center. It's very saucer-like tonight. You can see it's a saucer. And the pulsating slow down. And there we go. I believe that this object's been also seen in other areas like Fresno, California, and Reno. I believe that they're doing some sort of experiment. And I believe the reason why it's always seen over here at a certain time is because it's so rural. You have nothing but snow-capped peaks and hills and rivers and mountains and high desert that turns into alpine forest within a few miles of where this is being filmed. So, there's nobody that's going to film this. There's nobody that's going to pay mind to it because it's over an area that normally doesn't get a lot of attention. A lot of people that go to this area during the day where it's being filmed, they take their guns and they target practice. And, I could sit here and I could probably film this thing for a good half hour. There would be no point. Because every time I've sat here and I've watched this thing one time for over a half hour, and eventually it just vanishes out of thin air. It's just like one moment it's there for a half hour, hovering. Next moment it's gone, it's off in orbit. Or it just takes off over the mountains and disappears. We don't know what it's doing. We don't know if it's abducting human beings. We don't know if it's testing on animals, testing on mapping out the region. Maybe in case of an alien invasion, maybe they're looking at this area as an area where people would probably run and hide and find shelter, and maybe they're scoping it out. We don't know. If I had all the answers to astrobiology and UFOs and aliens, I certainly would be a millionaire by now, but I don't have all the answers. We don't have all the answers. We have not traveled the stars. We have not traveled outside our galaxy or outside our moon, really, except for sending probes up to Neptune and Mars and Jupiter, and even still, every day we're learning more and more about different planets and different places, and even other Earth-like planets where these objects could be coming and visiting us from those planets. All blues tonight. No reds, golds, yellows, whites. All blues. Blue and purples. About 3 different shades of blues, 3 different shades of purple, all blending into one color. So it's another exciting night, January 3rd of 2014. We also have New Year's footage of the object. And I noticed in my New Year's footage, when I was studying it, there's 3 grooves that go diagonally across the object. And it emits light from the top and the bottom of 2 different colors. So we may be dealing with different objects. The first couple objects I filmed obviously were the same because of the colors. But this seems like to be an entirely different object compared to the one I filmed on New Year's. And the one I filmed on New Year's is completely different from December 28th and December 12th footage. So we're dealing with different types of UFOs, or at least this UFO has the ability to strobe whatever colors it wishes to strobe at a given time. Tonight it's just strobing purples and violets and blues. Other nights it might strobe 50 different colors in a minute time span. Not tonight. Anyways, this is Lord Rick of the Paranormal Ghost Society. Check us out, www.paranormalghostsociety.org. Your gateway to the Sierra Nevadas. We've done over 1,000 investigations into Bigfoot, UFOs, ghost, conspiracy theory chasing, and many different topics we've worked with. And the biggest topic in the last month we've worked with is UFOs, because this rural Nevada, northern Nevada, has been having a plague of strange and unexplained UFO sightings. No, this is not a ghostly orb a few hundred feet in the sky. No, this is not an RC car. I am so sick of dealing with unintelligent, ignorant people. No, this footage is not going to be perfect. I am holding a camera with my hand and filming what I see. If it was on a tripod and I had all this extra equipment attached and then I filmed it, you'd have to question the authenticity of the film and say, hey, this guy must have set up the cam and set up the UFO in front of the lens and everything else. It's not the case. This is my roof to the left. This is the house in front of me. And this is the UFO. See the roof? And go to the right. It's getting so far away I can barely zoom in on it. Lots of purples and blues. And people say, well, you know, these are common. Well, yes, they are. But it's still an unidentified flying object in our skies, and we don't know what it is. And we have to come together in the UFO community to find out what it is, to debunk it. And debunking it doesn't mean telling me it's a ghost flying in the air or an RC car, because I don't work like that. I don't hoax my shit. I'm just being honest. I don't hoax my shit. I only am the cameraman. I film what I see. And what I see out in front of me is an object that's flickering, that's blending colors, that's pulsating, that's able to hover and not move at all. Since I've been out here, it hasn't moved at all. Because there's a tree across the street and I can compare it with a tree branch. It's not moved at all. Unlike stars and planets and constellations, when you look, they move, every 5 to 10 minutes, they move a little bit over and over and over. In this case, this is not moving. And I know it looks like it's moving because I'm moving my camera, but, when you're outside and it's 0 degrees and you're in the mountains in the winter and you're trying to film with a handheld cam, it's a pretty difficult feat. One thing is for certain, the object is much lower than other times I've filmed it. And another thing's for certain is that it's a brilliant bluish-violet UFO tonight. It's no longer where it's giving off 50 different colors a minute. It's only giving off about 6 or 7 different blues and purples, blending them all together. It's amazing. We have so much to learn about our world. Alien invasion is imminent. It's going to happen one day. I watched a show on National Geographic about alien invasion, and they said the best way humans are ever going to win, because our technology, obviously, missiles and things like that, these things can travel thousands of miles an hour, so our missiles and nukes and things are not going to work on them. But they did say that if we split up and we were to go hide perhaps in rural areas like the Sierra Woods and things and form militia groups, they're not going to be able, if we were to battle aliens and kill some here and there, they're not going to be able to call for reinforcements probably. So even if like 5-6 large ships came to Earth with 100,000 aliens, eventually, if the human race all banded together, we could win this thing. We could stand strong. I don't want to go to war against alien beings. I want us to be at peace and to learn their culture, to learn their technology, to learn about how they can heal certain diseases or if they can heal certain diseases. We have a lot to learn, but our government and other world governments continue to see these objects and shoot it down. If I reported this right now, they would send in an Air Force jet and they would probably try to shoot it down, collect the debris for their own technological advances. So, I'm not going to tell you where this is. I'm just going to tell you it's near my home. And they continue to visit, and I don't know why. I mean, like I said, I had an abduction experience in August. Maybe that has something to do with it. Who knows? But if you think they don't think that I'm not filming or YouTubing this, think again, because these are highly advanced, intelligent beings that are able to fly these ships through the galaxy, through the stars, through space. And these are so technologically advanced that they can fly in tornadoes, volcanoes, and even through some of the sun's hot, fiery tendrils. Because these are advanced metals, these are advanced ships. And you're not going to travel through the entire galaxy without some sort of protection. So, yeah, is it possible that our government has shot down objects such as this, like Roswell? Yeah, it's very possible. To harvest the anti-gravity technology, probably, but this is an anti-gravity object hovering in the skies. And like I say, every night it's not there. for 2 weeks it didn't appear, and then it appeared on the 28th. It went from the 12th to the 28th to New Year's Eve to the 3rd. So it is not out here every night. It's not a star. It's not a planet. It's not some space anomaly. It only comes out on certain nights and for a very short time, up to maybe 45 minutes, and then it's gone, and then people will see this same object in other cities located around Reno and northern Nevada. And they're all reporting the same thing, a multicolored spherical object or saucer-like object that gives off different colors. Tonight, what makes it special is you guys have seen the pinks, the reds, the yellows, the gold, the white, the blues, the orange, and the reds, and all these different colors. Well, tonight, it's strictly decided that it's going to go violet and purple. And I did see a little bit of gold twinkle in there briefly, but it was brief. The colors just kind of blend together. And, I had a few people tell me, keep the cameras rolling, we want to see more. Well, you guys are going to definitely see more because, again, UFOs are becoming quite mainstream out here. And I do have photos of UFOs during the day out in this region. I also have photos of the object at night. We're going to be eventually in about a month, maybe 2 months, we're going to compile all these videos, all our photos, all our research, and we're going to put it on our website so people can kind of take this object and they can learn a little more about it. And maybe once they do, they'll actually take it with a little less skepticism, and they'll try to understand the work that we're doing here. We're documenting this as a UFO case, all one case, since it's seen in one area. The strange thing is that this object, it may have not been this very object, but this object landed on the hill back on December 12th. It was very low behind the house. It was on the hill, and I watched it descend, and I went to the landing site because people asked me about it. They're like, it's fake, this and that. And we found a spherical 21-foot circle up on a plateau and some strange footprints in the snow near it. So we do think that this object has landed. We do think that it lands in other parts of rural Nevada. And I cannot say if this is the same object. All I can do is tell you it's an unidentified flying object, which is giving off voracious colors of blue and purple tonight. No, it's not an RC car in the sky. No, it's not a remote-controlled object. No, it's not a ghost in the sky. If people want to theorize, give me something to theorize about. But if you sound like a moron, I'm not gonna listen to you or reply to you. And if you give me advice about this video and you don't have your own perfect UFO videos, you have no room to talk. Because I have people trying to tell me how to film the UFO, how to record it, and all the people that are telling me this, they don't have any UFO videos. They don't have any paranormal proof of anything. They just troll the internet and troll YouTube and troll Google Plus communities, and they try to tell you use night vision, and they don't understand. When you use night vision on an object like this, it takes away from the color spectrums. If you can't see the color spectrums, then all it looks like on night vision is a light in the sky. And then people are going to say, hey, it's an airplane. Because on night vision, it just looks like a light in the sky. But on a regular HD cam, you can see that the object is pulsating different colors. So you know it's not a plane. If it was a plane, it would have already been gone. This valley that I'm residing in, I'm on the edge of the valley. It's only a few miles wide, so when a plane flies over, it's gone. It's over the mountains, and you don't see it again. And it does not appear to be moving very fast. It appears to be hovering over an area again. And there are a lot of Bigfoot sightings a few miles from here. Some think Bigfoot is an extraterrestrial creature. Some people think that it's an alien pet. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're zapping up or beaming down Sasquatch, and maybe the Sasquatch are in the woods collecting data. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. The only answer I have tonight is that I am filming. This is the 5th UFO video I am filming within the last 4 weeks. here in the Sierra foothills. It's magnificent. And I always have my cam charged and ready to go, just in case I'm ready to film this. It's ready to go. I'm not going to stick it on a tripod. I'll tell you if the object's moving or not. It's not moving tonight. It's been staying in the same spot now for about 20 minutes. Saucer-like object, giving off different blues and purples. It's very different from the New Year's December 28th and December 12th footage. It might be a UFO, but it's not. It does not look like the same UFO I filmed previously. It's an entirely different colored object. And it's just, the colors just blend and blend and blend, giving off maybe 3 colors a second. What kind of technology does that? What kind of technology gives off 3 colors a second? You know, UFO doesn't make it alien. It just makes it an unknown anomaly in our skies. And that's what people need to understand. We don't know what this object is. We know the newspaper, the media, and the government's kind of covered it up a little bit. And that's why I document every sighting, and every time I see this object now, I document it. That way it coincides with all the dozens of reports that are put out there locally in northern Nevada, and my sighting that I film coincides with what they see. Somebody will report I seen a spherical purple object in our skies. Well, I'll videotape it, and I'll send them the footage. I'll say, is this what you've seen? You know? So we can use this as an educational tool and as a reference. And that's all that matters. It's not how good the video is. If the UFO was out and about during the day, I would grab the cam and film it. But this is an object that seems to come around at night, and so we take what we can get. People are like, well, we can't see detail of the object. Well, yeah, it's sitting over a wilderness area that's dark, has very little light. You're not going to see much of the object. It's not going to be a perfect video. This is just like my diary, filming this object that's been haunting our skies for the last month. And if this video was still and perfect and everything else, you'd have to question its authenticity, like I planned it out. I didn't plan it out. It's cold, it's freezing. I grabbed my camera and I came straight out to film the object. And this is what it looks like. This is Lord Rick, a.k.a. Angel of Thy Night.